First of all, I guess, as people come here tonight, I appreciate you giving me a chance so you can get to know me a little bit, and I certainly want to get to know you, so maybe we can talk in a minute. I think it's good forum so you can look at candidates and make that decision on who you're going to support in this race. Just a little bit about my story. I grew up here in Utah, actually mainly grew up in northern Utah, and I grew up in a house that was quite politically active. My parents were always involved in campaigns. They really instilled a civic duty in my mind. And so when I was a young boy growing up and we sat around the dinner table, I guess, we used to do that back then, and we still try to do it ourselves, but when we sit around the dinner table, we would talk politics. And my mom had this thing she called the thought of the day. And she would read something from one of the papers or from a current periodical about the happenings of the day. And we'd discuss it as a family and what implications it has. If she didn't have something like that, we'd have a quote from our founding father, and then we'd talk about it. And so that's kind of how I grew up, in a very political family. So I kind of went on through school, got my Eagle Scout when I was 14 years old, got involved in debate in high school, was a two-time state debate champion. And then I went on to graduate from Brigham Young University in political science. And I picked political science because I was also getting trained in architecture. I went to Arizona State in that. But I wanted to get something I could get good grades in that I really truly loved, that I had a passion for. So got my degree in political science from BYU. And then before I got settled into a career path, I went into the United States Marine Corps. And so I was a U.S. Marine. And I think that's very critical as a candidate that you have spent some time in the military. You understand what it takes to be in the military and the issues facing those that lay their lives on the line for our country, especially now that we're still at war right now in Afghanistan. From there, I went on and got married to my wonderful wife, Jenny. She'd be here tonight, but she's not feeling very well. And we started raising our kids. And I still had this sense of getting involved in politics, but at the time, after I got out of the Marine Corps, I decided to go down the path to be an airline pilot. And I was an airline pilot for several years, flew for SkyWest Airlines and then US Airlines. And at the same time worked for my dad as an architect, because I was trained in that as well. Well, it got to the point where he had a major stroke, and he was about 62 years old, very young. He couldn't run the business, and I had to make that very tough decision on whether to take over the business and do that full time or to keep my flying career going. So I decided to walk away from a flying career and become an architect full time. And that took a lot of risk. At the time, my dad's company only had 4 employees, very few jobs in the office, no jobs on the horizon. It was in debt, it was really in trouble, and he couldn't operate anymore. And I took the business from that small company and have since grown into one of the largest and most successful firms in the whole Intermountain West. And that opened the door for me to get involved in politics. And that's why I'm here tonight. I ran for the city council in Orem and spent 3 terms at the city level, understanding city issues and how government regulation affects the closest level of government of cities. And believe me, cities get impacted by the state and the federal government in very bad ways, as far as meddling in how they do it. And after that, after 3 terms, I decided it was enough time, and the opportunity arose for me to run for the Utah House. Ran for that, and I'm now serving my 3rd term in the Utah House of Representatives. I'm still in office right now. In fact, I just came from the Capitol tonight because it was important to me to stay in office even though I'm running for Congress and not resigning early to run. And so I found myself in a position and an opportunity to run for Congress. And it's something that I'm passionate about. And when people say, why are you running for Congress? I tell them, I'm concerned about my children. I'm concerned about my grandchildren. I have 1 granddaughter. And I've lived the American dream. I've had opportunities to grow and have experiences that you would never think you could have. But we have because of this country and how great it is. And I think we're on the verge of losing that. And so I feel very passionate about serving my country, and I want to go back to DC where I know I can make a difference. I made a difference at the city level, I made a big difference at the state level, and I think I can make a difference there. So anyway, that's kind of why I'm running, and that's kind of what I have you get to know me by kind of telling you my story. And so now if you have questions, feel free to ask. I guess we've got all kinds of bonus time, so you can ask away until they kick us out of the room. And I don't mind the tough questions. I'll take them, I'll tell how it is, and we'll go from there, so.
I don't have burning questions, but I do
That's
have
fine.
some questions.
Sure.
So where do you see are your biggest differences with Matheson?
Well, the biggest difference, first off, Matheson has been in Congress now for 11 years, and he has not passed one piece of legislation, not one. Now, I came in as a freshman in the Utah House, and the first year passed 6 bills. I had like one other one almost get passed, died on the board that night, and actually passed almost as more bills than anybody else had been in that year. I get things done. Matheson doesn't. Matheson
Excuse me, candidates.
Oh.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. We'll do the first rotation. Move up the alphabet. Thank you.
So Matheson
And
has
attendees,
not.
please remain in the rooms you're in. Candidates will come to you.
Okay, so the thing about it is that Matheson also, he's had the opportunity to stand up for Utah in a big way on our private lands. We're in a battle right now to control our lands. Drilling for oil shale, natural gas access. He has not done a single thing to promote Utah in getting us access to our lands that are here in Utah. And Matheson, anytime you vote for him, it's a vote for Nancy Pelosi. It's a vote for control of the Congress by the Democrat Party. He's voted for TARP, he's voted for the bailout programs, he's voted for all these erroneous programs that is leading us down this path to indebtedness and servitude that I don't think we can recover from if we don't change the course.
What's he gonna use against you? What's his?
Well, you know, I actually think I am the best equipped to serve, and I believe I'm the best equipped to take on Matheson because I'm a professional, I have a professional degree, I've been a businessman. I think I have the tools to take him on head to head and debate him and beat him. And, you know, I don't know, you know, who knows what the Democrats are going to throw at you. As you well know, I did an immigration bill that I'm sure I could be attacked on. People kind of misread my motives on the immigration bill. It was really to have enforcing the law, but in a much more prudent and measured approach than other states have done. And I've taken on the federal government, and we've taken on health care issues in a huge way. And so I suspect that Matheson's gonna maybe try to paint me as somebody that's, I don't know, too extreme, which is not.
Excuse me, candidates. Would you please rotate to the next letter higher up in the alphabet, please?
No, it does
So
not.
he's moving out of there.
He's moving, no,
So
he's
he's
staying,
moving
no,
out.
he's staying there, he's just gonna run outside
But
his district.
his base is
Salt Lake City, yeah, so, anyway. Okay, well, thanks, I guess I don't want to go too long, so thanks for the
Right.
questions, so. If you have any more questions, just go to my website, I have a video posted, it's kind of fun, and some other things, so.
We'll just keep doing this.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, well, I will just get started. I'll stand over here. My name is Mia Love. I am originally from New York, born in New York, raised in Connecticut. I am the daughter of immigrant parents who came here legally and had $10 in their pockets and pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. I had a front row seat to watching 2 people realize the truth of the American dream. As a matter of fact, the first day of college, my father looked at me and he said, Mia, we've done everything we could to get here. We've never taken a handout. You will not be a burden to society. You will give back. And that's stuck in the back of my head. Now I'm going to just answer the question that everybody always asks, and then I will leave the time up to you. I am the mayor of Saratoga Springs right now, and a lot of people say, why are you running? What makes you different than the candidates that you're running against? One is, I am the only one in this district that's actually cut spending. In 2008, we cut everything. We were in trouble, and Saratoga Springs cut everything. So the only thing our property tax pays for is public safety. That is it. That is my niche, that is my experience. We've removed regulation, and we are allowing businesses to grow and thrive in Saratoga Springs. Things that are most important for me: fiscal discipline, limited government, and personal responsibility. Those are the things that I fight for. A lot of people have many different issues. Those are the things that are important to me. I'm realizing in order for us to change this country, we've got to convince people within our party and outside of the party that conservative values is the way that you're going to realize the truth of the American dream. I'm running in this race because we've got some serious problems in Washington. And if you want different results, you have to elect different. You have to elect differently. If you want the same results, keep sending the same. But I'm a different candidate. And those are the experiences I have. Questions? I want to just leave it up to questions and let you guys ask away.
Everybody's looking at me. Let's see, so how would you distinguish yourself from libertarianism then?
Again, when you talk about, I try to keep federal government out of social issues as much as possible because I believe that the best solutions are found in your home. I don't like anybody in Washington telling us what to do in our homes. There's again, everybody, when it comes to libertarian, there are certain paths that people take. There are a lot of things that on the social aspect that would probably separate us. I mean, I'm pro-life. I believe in marriage between a man and a woman. I believe in that. However, again, I get federal government out of the way. The things that are important to me, like I said, the niche that I have, anybody who claims that they're going to do everything is, you can't do it. The things that I plan on doing is tax simplification, removing regulation. I plan to do a lot of undoing, removing regulation that stifles our growth, and really letting the American people know that we're not entitled to anything that we don't own, earn, work for, or pay for ourselves. That's my niche. Those are the things I focus on.
I have 3 questions.
Great.
Matheson, how are you gonna go after him, or do you have a story on him?
Well, we've got Kevin here, who's working for the Democratic Party here, and I welcome
So don't
him.
give away the part,
I
but I'd like to hear
welcome
that story. Also, being a mayor, you kind of can get a lot done because you're sort of in charge. It's different than negotiating with all these people that are posing for the camera. So,
How is it different?
well, you have to do a lot more negotiating I would seem to me, than you do as the mayor. You're kind of the final buck. You
It's
have
leadership,
executive.
right? It's being able to go and lead. Now, there's a reason, you have to understand, that I've gone to Washington, I've talked to people, and I have been pointed out as a candidate that has the experience and has the qualities, the leadership qualities that are needed to get things through.
I sense that in you. I feel that in you. You're impressive. Well, what I'd like, I just want to kind of get your, I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying, what are your thoughts on, this is a different game, and how are you going to deal with the nonsense that's going on there? I want to see change too, but
I'll tell you exactly how I'm going to deal with it. Marco Rubio did something that was really great that I deem as the difference between cooperation and compromise. I'm not going there to compromise my values, but I can cooperate on some level. He went to the super committee and said, throw everything on the table, tell me everything that you can agree with, because nothing was moving when it came to the super committee, nothing. Throw everything on the table. Everyone threw everything on the table, and he said, great, we're passing it. Those are some of the things that we can do. When we come up with things like the NDAA or SOPA, different things like that, where we take a constitution and throw it out the window, that red flag goes up. And that's when you say, sorry, we're not compromising the Constitution. So in terms of getting things done, people have great ideas, and I'm willing to listen to some great ideas, as long as they don't compromise the principles that I grew up with, the principles that I live by. I think that when we elect candidates, we should elect candidates that not based on their issues, but based on their principles. That way you'll always know where they're voting on their issues.
Matheson thought on that, I'd like to hear, and then the other one is, I saw a video you talked about returning power to the states, or to the people, okay. So I'd kind of like to just hear, because again, I'm just disenfranchised with the people who are getting there and they're sticking their stick in the ground and they're not working together, and it's just nasty and terrible.
It's not going anywhere.
I like the words, but I'd like to see something happen, and so I'm not in any way trying to be.
Good warning for rotation, 1 minute before we rotate.
Well, I missed the last part, but I believe that a great indicator of what